60-year-old Jonas has been devoted to Etosha National Park for the past 25 years. He is an elephant rescue expert, always caring for and protecting the elephants from unpredictable dangers. Every morning, he drives across the vast savanna, traveling 30 kilometers to the park. His wife, Maya, waits for him at home with a warm smile every time he returns. The couple lives simply in a small town near the park gate, closely connected to the community. His colleagues at the center often call him the Elephant King with deep respect. Every day, he checks the condition of the elephants, records their living habits and moves them. Jonas always puts his personal feelings aside to fulfill his duty of preserving rare animals. That afternoon, the sky was blue, the golden sunlight covered the vast grassland. Jonas started the car, looked in the rearview mirror and drove straight through the familiar trail. Suddenly, a large rock flew up, knocking off the windshield, startling him. The strong impact caused the car to lose control and crash straight into a tree on the side of the road. The front of the car was crushed, smoke billowed, and the sound echoed across the quiet steppe. Jonas was seriously injured, unconscious in the cabin, blood flowing from his forehead unconsciously. Police rescuers quickly arrived at the scene and helped get him out of the car. Medical staff gave first aid on the spot before using a stretcher to transfer him to the ambulance. His wife Maya received the bad news over the phone, her heart choking when she heard his trembling voice. Colleague Daniel also rushed to the hospital with increasing anxiety. In the emergency room, the doctor did everything possible to treat Jonas's serious injuries. Despite their best efforts, the doctors sadly announced that he could not survive. The whole family and colleagues burst into tears, unable to believe that the dedicated ranger had passed away. According to his will, Jonas wanted a funeral with a solemn local ceremony. He also wished to be buried in a large grassland in the middle of the national park. The next day, Jonas's coffin was placed solemnly in the middle of the yard to welcome the gentle dawn. Many locals and colleagues came to offer their condolences, forming a solemn circle. The sad atmosphere was pervasive as the quiet cry echoed across the vast grassland. Suddenly, 4 elephants appeared from the main gate, calling out loudly as if calling farewell. They were 2 adult elephants and 2 baby elephants, walking slowly into the middle of the yard. Everyone stepped back in surprise, their eyes bewildered, not understanding what was happening. The 4 elephants stopped next to the coffin, bowing their heads silently as if bowing to a close friend. The funeral space was unusually quiet, the sound of the wind blowing through the grass leaves was faintly sad. Daniel, a close colleague, held Maya's hand tightly to steady his spirit before the strange scene. He looked up at the elephants and said softly, "I recognize this special family." Daniel recounted how Jonas took care of the mother elephant during her long and difficult pregnancy. The pregnant female elephant had an unusually large belly, forcing the rangers to closely monitor her. Jonas and Daniel used their experience to help the mother elephant give birth to 2 healthy calves. The strangest thing was that the calves were twins, a rare event that only happens once every 30 years. Jonas himself used medicine and specialized techniques to overcome all dangerous complications. Thanks to him, the mother elephant and her 2 calves survived, and the herd became stronger and more united. When Daniel recalled the moment Jonas picked up the 2 calves in overwhelming happiness, tears fell from his eyes. The mother elephant refused to leave him, clinging to him as if in complete gratitude. The 4 elephants today are the family he has worked so hard to care for and save. Daniel choked up, explaining the reason for their footsteps today with a familiar cry. Everyone understood, the elephants came to bid farewell to their great companion. The funeral atmosphere turned sweet and warm in the middle of the vast grassland. Maya bowed slightly, pulled the white cloth aside so that the elephants could see him one last time. The 4 elephants were silent, only softly roaring and waving their trunks as a warm greeting. The entire funeral procession was silent, no one dared to make a sound, respectful of the immense affection. The elephants turned their backs and walked out onto the familiar trail leading to the forest in the distance. The funeral continued. Jonas's coffin was solemnly covered with national flags and forest ranger insignia. Everyone accompanied Maya as the coffin was taken to the flower car to the grassland he loved. The funeral procession moved silently through the endless golden grass dunes. Jonas, a veteran Marine, had once expressed his wish to rest in the midst of majestic nature. The elephant suddenly appeared on the side of the road, silently following the procession without leaving for a moment. The sound of the funeral trumpet resounded in the quiet space, blending with the gentle sound of their trunks. Maya hugged her husband's portrait tightly, suppressing her pain as she watched the elephants follow the coffin to the foot of the grave. They placed the coffin in the middle of a large field, where Jonas had watched the elephants give birth. According to local rituals, people spread dry grass and wild flowers on the solemn grass-covered gravestone. The elephants stood in rows, silently guarding the final resting place of their dear friend. Daniel silently bid farewell to his teacher and comrade, bursting into tears when his hand closed forever. After the burial, the group left, leaving only Maya with red eyes quietly looking at the gravestone. The field was quiet, with only the sound of the wind and the low roars from the 4 elephants in the distance. Jonas had become a legend in the steppe, his name engraved in everyone's hearts. Whenever Daniel and his colleagues went on patrol, they always visited Jonas's peaceful grave. The trail leading to the grave was meticulously memorized by Daniel so that no one would miss it. For elephants sometimes appear like friendly ghosts, visiting the grave in the evening sky. The locals say that if they hear the sound of a trumpet or see a ranger's car, the elephants will come. They kneel before the gravestone, as if praying for Jonas's soul to rest in peace. Daniel filmed and took pictures, preserving the magical moment between humanity and nature. Maya later built a small house next to the forest, to feel close to her husband forever. She often visited the grave, bringing wildflowers and sometimes decorating it with the snow pea pods Jonas liked. The young rangers heard stories about Jonas and his elephant family, and were impressed by his devotion. They named this area Jonas Field to remember the legendary ranger. Visitors to the national park also heard stories about the sacred friendship between humans and elephants. Some researchers came to survey, believing that this herd of elephants learned the ability to recognize humans. The elephant's twin miracle continues to be mentioned as Jonas's special mark. Maya established an elephant protection fund, using donated funds to maintain the shelter and rescue work. The fund, called Jonas's Journey, supports elephant conservation projects in the semi-desert region of Namibia. Every year on Jonas's birthday, a solemn graveside ceremony is held with a large number of participants. Daniel, on behalf of his colleagues, presents Maya with a souvenir made from recycled ivory. A bust of Jonas is erected next to the rescue center, showing his familiar gentle smile. The field where he rests becomes a relic, and visitors are stunned by the magical scene. The sound of an elephant's roar echoes, signaling the presence of Jonas's soul in harmony with nature. Maya occasionally hears his call, believing that her husband is still following and taking care of each herd of elephants. Daniel keeps a diary, recalling every rescue detail, to pass on the profession to the next generation. Jonas's story was included in biology textbooks, inspiring students. The pictures of Jonas with his mother and baby elephants became a symbol of love for nature. Jonas's love and responsibility still live forever in the hearts of every future person. In the middle of the Etosha steppe, Jonas's footprints are forever engraved, containing immortal feelings. And when the wind blows through the fields, a soft roar echoes like a never-ending promise. Dear friends, thank you for taking the time to watch the whole video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to support us. Goodbye and see you again in the next episodes.